always wonder how far can we go back? How about the 50s when black people were put in cages in Europe in the zoos, or the 60s when they started changing the rules about integration, allowing us to come with our blood, sweat, and tears and build their new cathedrals of worship. The whole misnomer about going to a HBCU, you'll never get popular. You never become mainstream. You'll never be anything big in your sport. You never have any pull outside of your university. You'll never be a champion. HBCUs do not produce great players. They just don't. They never have. They never will produce a great player. No one's going to change any minds, or no one's going to be the face of a league. Nobody's going to be a cog in the system. You just will never achieve that from HBCU. I want you to understand what I'm saying. It has been debunked so many times. But also, you understand something. One of those cathedrals has slave blood literally on the ground. It was built by slaves and burnt down during the Civil War. On the property right now lays two slaves, a father and a child. They didn't want you there at all.
Alabama. And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever. But the three-time presidential candidate who survived an assassination attempt during his 1972 campaign, which left him paralyzed, has over time changed his caustic view of race relations.
I believed it was in the best interest of white and black to be in a segregated school system. But I was wrong, and once we lost the legal battles, I think we all saw we were wrong.
It's Gary.
See, that's the problem. It's only wrong when you losing a legal battle. But then when you have these one that's behind the scene racism, not in front of you, that's where we got to draw the line. I mean, we're in the South.
I just liked the heck out of this kid when he sat
Man, he was
over
great.
here.
He was great. He did a great interview.
He's a good kid. He's a smart kid.
Yep,
He's
yep.
mature beyond his years. Deion Sanders is as rare a human as I've ever been around. And I believe Jordan Seaton belongs with Deion. I just believe for his growth and what he could learn from Deion and his fast track into pro football, he belongs at Colorado. But I take nothing away from all those points you made about Maryland, because it's right there. It's right up the road, man. And it's hard to fight that. But it just felt like I watched him take that cap up out of his bag and put it on, and it looked right to me. And I think he knew in his heart of hearts what you're saying in the end.
He spoke on it.
Yes.
And he spoke about it. And we had a chance to talk about, building a great program. He talked about starting something and being a part of starting something. You could tell the kid's a leader.
Now, in the South, we're used to fighting and walking right through racism that's put in front of us. But when it's good cop, bad cop, it's kind of crazy. If you know what I'm talking about, let me give you an example of that bad cop. Please roll that beautiful.
So I now am sitting back going, okay, I'm more concerned about the young man. I think that this is a huge red flag that he'll probably be in the transfer portal next year. Like this is commitment jumping. This is like,
it's like if you don't do what they say, they want to attack your character. No matter what you do when you go to NFL, you're gonna have I forgot the guy's name, the Mache, the guy who thinks he's the draft expert. He's always gonna say the same thing about black quarterbacks: leadership quality, accuracy. You can lead the league in accuracy, have a 99.9% accuracy rate, and He'll say accuracy. Arm talent. Maybe he can play receiver, like Lamar Jackson. No. Speaking of Heisman Trophy winners, I've always had to preface this statement when I talked about Colorado. It's not a problem with Deion Sanders, not a problem with somewhat Shedeur Sanders. The problem is with Colorado. Growing up in the Midwest, a lot of folks who are in Colorado and Denver now, y'all just got there last week, so take a while I give you a little history. The young man on the TV right now, Rashaan Salaam, he was their only Heisman Trophy winner. Led them to their only national championship. Was drafted in the first round in 1993, number 21 by the Bears. Played 3 years in the league. Yeah, he had a fumbling problem, but mostly injuries, and was later diagnosed being bipolar. Mr. Salaam had problems with his money, as most 90s NFL players do. He, let's be honest, fell for a Ponzi scheme. When it came time around 2016, he had mentioned to one of his friends that he may have had probably $20,000 in the bank. And remember, just because you played at college, Mr. Salaam didn't get a degree. I believe he played 3 or 4 years in Colorado, and when it came back down time to it, he was about 50 to 60 credits short of graduating. You can think about your college degree and how many credits it took to be a sophomore and how many he was short to graduate. They probably blame it now, saying, well, in the fall, he didn't stop going to school. Okay. But isn't that your job as a university to check up on him? To assist him? Well, they were good at not assisting him because Mr. Salaam was found dead in the park in Boulder, Colorado, with a gunshot wound to the head. Suicide. Because, in his own words, other schools with Heisman Trophy winners treat them better. Hell, Texas gave Vince Young, a runner-up, a job on his network to assist him with getting money after his NFL career was over with. Mr. Salaam could not get a job at Colorado. The AD who wanted to hire him was forced to resign, and new AD wanted nothing to do with him. His own words were, I was shunned by the university I carried. I was shunned by the school I promoted. Only brought out to recruit new kids and then put back in the cupboard afterwards. This is what I mean when I say I don't like Colorado. A school like this will use you and put you aside. Black sweat and tears and blood has built most of these schools in the South. But it's funny, the one school that was not involved in the Civil War has 6 Confederate statues around the campus. I mean around it, not on it. It lets you to understand the problem is the people of Boulder, Colorado. I know a lot of people in the South, we know about the old school racism, right? It's in your face. You know what you're going to deal with. Well, in Boulder, they have this newfangled racism. This, we're going to lie in your face and hopefully you do what we want you to do to make us money. The second you're not useful to us, we're on to the next one. We want your culture. We don't want you. That's Boulder, Colorado. And yes, I have been to Boulder, Colorado. I've been to Denver, Colorado. I've been to Fort Collins, Colorado. I grew up in Kansas. So I know how this state looks and how the state acts. And this really has nothing to do about Jordan Seaton. It's more about the response that kids get from choosing not to go to a place they don't feel comfortable. I'll put it like this. If your people built something from scratch and then you help build it up, and you go there and they treat you like you don't exist, why in the hell would you knock somebody else from the side not to go? And Shador said it best. Either you're with us or you're against us. Keep that energy when the season starts. Boulder may surprise you. I'm out.